Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to do a video on transitioning from public school to homeschool. My two oldest were in public school. We homeschool now, but my oldest was in third grade, finished third grade, and my second oldest finished kindergarten, and then we started homeschooling. And to say I was scared to pull them out of public school is an understatement. It's this nudge that I'm feeling, like God telling me this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Apparently it was. But I wanted to kind of go over, we are in Texas, and Texas is one of the easiest states to homeschool in. Whether it be pulling your kids out and then homeschooling or starting from square one and homeschooling, it is the easiest state. I have looked into other states, and some of the requirements they have is a lot. So know the laws. The first thing is to know the laws in your state before you pull your kids out. In Texas, all I had to do was, and I pulled this up off the, I forget the website. I will link it though if I can remember. But there's a website that you can go to that says exactly word for word the format and the wording that you want to use. So I was able to just type up a letter, give it to the registrar, say, basically in a nutshell, it is my intent to homeschool my kids. We will do the required subjects, which are math, I think language arts, good citizenship. I think that might have been it. I can't remember. I'll have to look back. But that is all we had to do. And then they sent the letter saying, okay, are you confirming that you are withdrawing them at the end of the school year? That might not be the case for every state. And those that are more strict are going to require you to do more, possibly give your curriculum that you're going to be using. I did not have to do that. And that's good because I really hadn't figured all that out yet. I just knew I was going to homeschool. So I had made that decision. Another thing, do not try and copy necessarily the typical public school day. So, scheduling is fine. And I'm going to put a different video about that, about scheduling and how we do scheduling throughout the day. I am a much more relaxed homeschooler than a lot of people that I know. We do not have a strict schedule. I started that way, and that was not, it just didn't work out for me. And the more kids that I had, the more I realized that was not the right approach. It was stressful, and I have more of a check mark system. Okay, by the end of the day, I need this done. With my two older ones, that's a little easier. With the younger ones, that requires me to sit down and say, which I can say to myself, like, okay, I want to work with this child from this time to this time. That is okay in my book. But to tell them, okay, you have from 9 to 10 and you have to be done at this time. That's okay. If you only have a couple of kids or one kid or heck, even 7 kids and that works for you, that's fine. That did not work for me. I did not want them feeling stressed out like they had to finish at this time. I just want it done by the end of the day. So that's a little different than what, if your kid is coming from public school, what they'd be used to, which is fine because you're supposed to be more relaxed. You don't necessarily need to, have them sit at a desk all day. You don't want to do that. That's the beauty of homeschool, is half the time my kids are sitting here on my bed doing their work. They're in the kitchen, they're in their room, they're in the living room. Don't try and make it exactly like a public school day if that is what they're used to. This is a change. This is different. Which goes on to my next thing. Allow them to adjust. So there wasn't a huge adjustment, but it was a different, we were used to waking up at like 6 a.m. and, everybody getting ready, and the scheduling of the day was just crazy as far as after school sports and other extracurriculars and, dinner. And then it was just so crazy. Allow them time to adjust. And if that means taking a week off, which I think I actually did, I took a week off when I would normally start, and I allowed them to kind of like switch over. switch over into homeschool mode. They didn't know what that was at the time. And frankly, I was just starting. This was 3 years ago. I was just starting, so I really didn't know either. But I was able to allow them the time to say, okay, we're not going to get up at 6 in the morning anymore. You don't have homework to do after school. As long as you finish your stuff and you do what you're supposed to do, we're good. Like, that's fine. So allow them the time and the adjustment to know that we are still in school. We're still doing school, but this is a lot easier, a lot more relaxed and less stressful. You don't want to stress them out. So just allow that adjustment time for yourself as well, because that's a big difference. I was used to having 2 kids in school, and then, having the littles to myself, or having nap time, and I would watch a soap opera while I ate lunch, and that kind of thing. And it's a change for me. So adjusting yourself as well and giving yourself time to kind of switch to that mode will help also. Picking curriculum. Allow yourself grace when it comes to picking curriculum. I have changed curriculum over the last 3 years, whether it be, various subjects or, curriculum companies, and what works for one of my kids might not work for the other. And so I have switched curriculums quite a bit in the last 3 years. And it's about that time to reevaluate and look at next year. I've switched mid-year for math for my oldest because we can do that. And so allow yourself to research the curriculum, but also know that you can switch at any time. You can pick up at any time from any other curriculum. Allow yourself to have that adjustment time to see what works best for your kid and what doesn't. Year-round or typical school schedule. So because my kids were used to the summers off and the spring breaks off, I have pretty much kept up with the public school system's schedule and timeline and calendar. So we pretty much start at the same time. Sometimes we'll start a week earlier. We never start later, but we will sometimes start earlier. Sometimes we'll start earlier, only have a shorter Christmas break, but I do not do year round. My kids are not used to it. I'm not used to it. And that's just not something I want to do. Now, with that being said, I might go a little bit further into summer, which might happen this year, a little bit further into summer than normal. But for the most part, it stays the same. We will have spring break off. We will have the Easter weekend off. I will not take if we go on trips, I will take that time off. But I might say, okay, we got to do 2 lessons on this day to make up, or 2 lessons for this week to make up. So we make it up, but I don't say, okay, we're just going to keep going year round, because it's just not, they're not used to it. And I've mentioned that to them, and they're like, I want my full summer break. However, I am going to continue to work with them during the summer, workbooks going into the next grade, because that's important. I feel like having the entire summer off, they just forget stuff. And so it helps keep a schedule and gives them something to do throughout the summer. So just know that when you're switching from public school to homeschool, it is going to be a change. There is going to be an adjustment period. You are going to have to do research, and some things might not work the way you planned when you first started. And that has happened to me. It is okay. Like I said, that is the beauty of this. You can adjust, you can change, but know that you are doing what you are meant to be doing. I will do another video, or a few videos probably, on what I'm doing for each of my kids for each grade level currently. Now that might change in the next year when I move another kid up, and then it might change. But for the most part, it's pretty much stayed the same. So I hope with a lot of people transitioning from public to homeschool, that this video was helpful. And just know that you got this, and it is the best thing that you can do for your kids and for yourself too, because you are in control, especially if you're in Texas or in a state that is less strict. You can do this, and your kids can do this, and it will be okay, and they will love it, because mine have never looked back. So anyway, good luck. If this is what your path is to switch, if you have any questions, let me know. Most of you can find me on Facebook, so if you're friends or friends of mine on Facebook or Instagram or whatnot, let me know. I will be glad to answer any questions, and I will put up videos for individual curriculums shortly. All right, guys, take care.